Hi everyone, today we're going to make a family ornament. This is one of my favorites. These are your tools that you're going to start with and your clay. This is very easy. Don't be intimidated because it might look hard, but it's easy. Now here I'm showing you how to use the star template, which if you go to your worksheet, I'll have the star template on the last page, and I explain to you how to make the template out of scrap clay, which is a lot sturdier than using a piece of cardboard or paper all the time. But I'm just showing it to you here. I'm going to be using cookie cutters, and this one uses 2-size cookie cutters. Don't make the children too small, especially if you're going to be personalizing these ornaments, because you're going to need that room to put the names on, unless you write very small, which I don't. But anyway, to get the lighter color clay, you can either buy it in the lighter color, or you can mix white clay to your yellow clay a little at a time until you get the shade that you want for your lighter colored ornaments. Now the lighter colored stars are going to be the children. So let's get started with that. Here I am, I'm cutting out all my stars. Best thing to do is cut out all your stars to begin with. Now I've made this ornament with up to 12 small stars for the children, but it was actually for grandchildren. It was the grandparents who wanted their grandchildren. And I like to have the white base clay, because when you put your stars on the backing, it just makes the ornament a little bit stronger. Now I do use Super Sculpey here because it's just easier on my hands, but I think if you used Primo, which is a very strong clay, for your backing, you might be better off. Now always put the top 2 stars together like this. You want them touching, because the more you can get these stars touching, the stronger the ornament will be. See how I'm putting it on there to the leg of the larger ornament. Always try to have them touching each other. Now, if you're doing craft shows, you want to sell ornaments online, personalized family ornaments are a very big seller. People really like them. Now we're going to do some trimming. Now you can trim with the X-Acto knife or the needle tool. For some things I like the X-Acto knife, but most of the time I like to trim with the needle tool. I think it works just as well. And for me, I have a little bit more control with the needle tool. You know, it all depends on how you feel, what's good for you. But you can use either one. Now when you're trimming like this, you're going to leave some rough edges behind. Just smooth them out. You'll see me smoothing it out here, and you can see how rough that edge is. You see how rough that is? And as with all the other videos, there is a worksheet that comes with this, and you can always refer to the worksheet. And I just want to say, if you don't want to listen to me talking, just turn the sound off and just watch the video. I think you can still get it. And if you need to stop at any point, just stop the video and check your work, see what you've done. I think you're all going to do really well. There, now you see those rough edges? I just kind of smooth them out up into the stars. I think one of the worst things about this ornament is when I have a lot of the children's stars and I have to put the holly leaves and berries on each one. Oh my, that takes a while. And as I've probably told you many times, after you use red, if it comes off on your hands, wash your hands. I have found that for me, a nice hand lotion, I just rub my hands with the hand lotion, then wash them, then wipe them off with a paper towel, and then wash with maybe some Dawn dishwashing detergent. It really takes the clay off your hands. And I think the trick is the hand lotion. And I'll have that in the tips and tools section also. I'll explain that. I think I'm even going to do a video showing how I get it off my hands. There you go. Now when you put the white ball on, you'll see here that you don't put it in the very... all right, what I'm doing here is I'm just getting ready with the candy cane. I figured my hands are red, so I might as well roll that out. Okay, I have washed my hands here. The magic of editing, it went very quickly. And I think I'm going to do the brims of the hat here and just put those on. And this is where the parents' names will go. But when you do the white ball at the top of the hat, don't put it all the way to the top. And I'm going to show you, put it down a little bit so that it bonds. The white bonds with the red. You want everything to bond together. Don't just lay stuff on. Make sure you press it on. Look, I've got a little bit of a bubble there. So you want to pop that bubble. If you ever get a bubble, just kind of pop them and smooth the clay out. You don't want air bubbles. Try to get everything nice and smooth. Sometimes, no matter what you do, you'll get air bubbles, but try to avoid them. All right, now I'm going to show you how to put that white ball on. This is important because it has to bond with that red. Now you see how far down I put that? Don't put it right at the tip, because it won't stay. And the reason I like to put many of my ornaments on a backing sheet of clay, you'll see later, it just makes the back of the ornament look so much more finished and polished. And if people want to write a message on there, if they're giving it as a gift, or put their names and the dates, it really works well for them. I apologize if you can hear the dogs barking in the background. They are like 3 rooms away and I could still hear them barking. I'm sorry. These are going to be the eyes. Roll some small balls for the eyes. Now we're only doing faces on the bright yellow stars, the parents. The kids, they just get the holly leaves and berries. I do have a star family ornament where I give them all faces, and we'll do that a little later on because it's a little bit more complicated to do. There we go. I always put the candy cane on the left star, and that's always the man, because he's eating his candy cane. And then the lady star, she gets the little holly berries and leaves. Now for the leaves, you just make these little teardrop shapes. Now if you notice, a lot of the shapes that we roll out are the same. They just are in different sizes. So the little teardrop shape is basically a very small, rounded or tapered triangle. You'll find these on almost all of my ornaments. I just like them. They make them look a little bit more festive and just add a nice little touch, I think. I like to put stars and holly and little hearts on my ornaments. And it just adds a little extra touch. And I know many of you are probably wondering, well, those aren't really holly leaves, but let me tell you, I've been doing this for 45 years and no one ever questioned the fact that I didn't make those leaves look like holly leaves. I mean, you can make them look like holly leaves, and I will show you how to do that, you know, a little further on. But when you're making ornaments to sell to the public, and you can't take 2 hours to make one ornament, this is a time saver. Just make your leaves. And no one has ever said anything about it in all the years I've been doing it. And I think they look great. I have no problem with the way they look. And these guys get a little red nose. And then with the eyes, you can paint the eyes on. You can paint on the black of the eyes after you bake them, or you can put on the black clay. Now, always have the couple looking at each other. It just looks better. You don't want them looking away from each other. You want them to look at each other like, oh, this is our family and we're so much in love and we love our family. So you want them to gaze at each other. And now after you paint it, you can put a little white dot on each of the black eyes. And also with the mouth, you can, if you prefer, you can paint the mouth on afterwards. You don't have to use the needle tool to put it on. And again, always add the blush before baking. If you need to even make a little sign at your workstation, add blush. Or even at your stove, add blush. Because afterwards, after baking, you have to paint those cheeks on, and the blush just looks so much better. Now you see, there I go, and I mess up my mouth. Just totally went off the grid there. . All right, now if you make little mistakes like this, The clay is very forgiving and you can fix it. There you have your ornament. And now the hook goes in the top. Be sure to add your hook before baking it. And you can paint on the white dots in the eyes after it's baked and cooled. And I just use acrylic paints, cheap acrylic paints. And you don't have to put a finish on. And you see how nice the back comes out? Nice and smooth, and people can write messages there. You know, it looks nice. And if you give it as a gift, you can write a little message to the recipient on the back. I just think he's cute, and I don't know why I keep moving him around, but there you are. Yeah, looking close up at that mouth, I could have fixed him a little better, but he's okay. And there he is, all finished. Now these are some of the ones I've done, you know. Well, hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.